Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Coffee Comment. It's your girl, Mecca.
And Ryan.
And tonight's episode, we are going to talk about the LGBT community and religion, or what other people like to say. They don't like to use religion, spirituality. Excuse me. Being as though it is October and it is the LGBTQ month, History Month, which means this is a month that a lot of history is being told about the gay and lesbian, bisexual, trans, and questioning community. Learn about a lot of history, and a lot of the laws were passed in October. As you may or may not know, October 11th was National Coming Out Day, and it is an actual day. It's not one of these fun bandu or like internet made up calendar days.
I thought it was.
It's an actual day. It's when a bill got passed and they did a march.
There's a bill?
Yeah. It was like a law.
Interesting.
Yes. Right now, I'm so mad that I can't remember exactly the lady who spoke up for it and everything. I'm so embarrassed. But it is an actual day. And so I thought that I would bring up this topic to talk about. And considering the fact that my friend texted me early last week and she asked me, no, exactly a week from now, she's like, what is the big deal with why gay and lesbians love to still go to church or worship the Lord when the Bible condemns us? And I feel like she is trying to find, her spot in life. She's in her life journey right now. She asked me that question because ever since we met, I met her since I was 19. I know her since I was 19. She knows that I'm a lesbian, but I'm really spiritual. Like, I love God. I do pray. I got my journal. Whenever there is a church available, I do go to church as well. And so since she's known me, she's known that I go to church, I do pray, I listen to gospel and everything, Christian music. And
so basically you got Jesus on the main line.
I got Jesus on the main line. And she just was wondering, like, why do you and other LGBT individuals, why do y'all still, so down for the Lord, but they condemn us? The Christian people condemn us. The Bible says that we are disgusting, basically. It is an abolishment. And we still haven't talked about it with her, but I think that I can give my answer here tonight on the topic. So let's get into it. The condemnation, I feel like Christians, or let's say the church, condemns the LGBT community, and they try to separate and isolate. And it feels like, from what I see, I have personally gone through it with only like 2 people that I knew. But what I see on like TV or stories that I might hear about from my friends, it seems like when you do want to learn more about God, or you do want to go on your spiritual journey, once you start to ask people about it, they feel like that's a ticket for them to pray the gay away. Like, because you want to be into God and because you want to learn about your religion or your spirituality, they take that as an opportunity, as instead of embracing you, trying to take it out of you and just have you like, oh, since you want to learn about God, this means you want to marry a man or you want to marry a woman. And that's totally unfair, and it's not the case.
I don't even think it has anything, when people hear you say that you want to go on a spiritual journey, it's not necessarily speaking of you trying to walk down the aisle with whomever. But I know
some people jump the gun.
Yeah, I don't understand that when it's like, no, I just want Jesus closer, when
right.
when D-Day comes, I want to be, through the pearly gates with him. But the question I have about the church or churches, I know that there are churches that are strictly, quote unquote, gay
church, yeah, with like a pastor and stuff like
and
that.
everything. Now, I've never attended one of the churches, but do they preach the same things out of the Bible? Like, I guess, how do they deliver their message to the congregation?
There was actually a movie or a TV show about it, and I missed it, so I did not get to see it. But I also watched The Real L Word, if anybody knew what that was. And it was The Real L Word, and it was taped and based in LA. And there was a black girl on there. I think her name was Sade or something like that. And
ironically enough, you heard about Sade's
daughter becoming trans.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I had to get it right because I was like, was it a son that went girl or a girl that went boy? I can't remember.
And she showed her journey as to, like, she moved to LA, like I did, from the East Coast, came out to her mom and everything, got a little girlfriend, and she was going to church, and this was something that she always wanted to do. She never took church out of her routine just because she came out. So her mom was quite shocked when she came to LA, went to church with her daughter and everything, but she started to learn and research more about her daughter being a lesbian or whatever. I seen it. I think they were still preaching the same thing. It's just more of a safe haven so that if you are gay and you want to come with your wife, if you're married or you're a couple that you and your boyfriend love to go to church together, you and your girlfriend or wives or husbands, whatever the case is, or you're trans, whatever that is, I think is more of a safe place so that you don't get looked at sideways. I think they do still preach. I'm not 100%, but from what I seen, the little clip that was in the show, I think they do still preach regularly from the Bible and have their own sermons. I think it's just labeled a quote unquote, you can't see our hands, but a quote unquote gay church. It just welcomes gay people and it's more of a safe place so that they're not looked at crazy.
But I would think as a gay person that still, yes, the safe haven, that's great. So, I mean, no judgment. But I'm like, but if my pastor is preaching about, homosexuality being a sin and we're all sitting around very much gay, like, I guess I'm trying to figure out how does that message go about? Do they just not discuss everything else in the Bible and not discuss that portion of it? Or
you're saying at a gay church?
Yeah. Well, I know at regular, for me, Christian Church of Christ, I know they do discuss homosexuality. We all know that it's said to be a sin, so I know how that is delivered. But I've always been intrigued on how that works within a gay church.
I don't know. Maybe I might look up the documentary and see. Because, I don't know. And it's funny enough, I was looking up stuff. They have one out here in Atlanta somewhere. And they have one in LA somewhere. I've never been to one. I went to a regular old Christian, non-denominational church in LA when I did go. I went basically all of my college, and when I left school, I went that whole time. And they didn't flat out say like, oh, you ain't supposed to be gay. They didn't say that, but my pastor did have some little remarks that you can tell who it was towards,
right?
Or what group it was towards. But that's a good question. I don't know. Maybe I can look it up and watch it later, as far as what actually goes on in the gay church or a church that's supposed to be for the gay people. But yeah. So, like I was saying, the condemnation and the isolation, how they try to separate the two. Like, you can't be into God and be a transgender, or you can't be into God and be bisexual. They try to separate the two. And like Ryan was saying, when I introduced, some people do jump the gun. And just because you ask about your spiritual journey, don't mean that, okay, now I'm ready to get straight now. It's not that. It's just simply, I need to be closer to God, whatever that is. Sadly enough, everybody is not always on the bandwagon, so it might take for somebody to lose their place, or for somebody to lose their form of transportation or their job or whatever, to be like, okay, I need to get closer with God. And you always talk to that one person that you probably know that's not going to judge you and that's going to help you through that spiritual journey. And people also feel like once you tell them that, like, you are gay, they feel as though they can use the Bible or their religion to continuously condemn you. God said this ain't right, so you're not my daughter no more. And, God said that this is an abomination, so I'm not coming to your wedding. I'm not coming to whatever festivities, and people just feel like they have to disown you, and they're not your friend or your family member anymore. They can't help you at work because you choose to be with the same sex.
In my response to that, I'll be like, well, carry on.
Right.
I mean, as far as religion and LGBT and everything like that, my personal opinion is, I'm not the judge, so do whatever you please. I don't care if gay people get married. I don't care what church gay people go to. I don't care what God they believe in. I don't care what Bible they read. It's like, whatever you want to believe in, or however you want to interpret the Bible, however you want to do, just, I'm not the one to judge, right. But I wish that more people would be that open-minded and just it's almost like live your life.
Exactly. A sin is a sin.
Exactly.
And just like I had this conversation with my mother, and I'm pretty sure Ryan and everybody else that feels this way would agree. Your relationship with your spirituality or your religion is up to you. It's your personal relationship. It has nothing to do with your mother, your sister, your cousins, or your girlfriend, your boyfriend. It's all up to you. It's all how you talk to them. And even me finding my spiritual journey in college and now getting back into, I pray every single day. I do. But as far as maybe listening to sermons or maybe going to church or writing in my Bible, we get so wrapped up in life that we don't. But, everybody does it different. And I used to have to, with my girlfriend, I used to kind of get mad that she didn't go to church with me every single Sunday. But she did make an attempt maybe once a month to go. Everybody has to have their own spiritual, journey or spiritual bond with God or whoever you pray to, whoever you speak to, whatever higher power you talk to. So because I'm gay doesn't mean that when I die, when I go to the pearly gates and I'm talking to God, he's just going to turn me away. He's going to turn me away if I'm gay, but yeah, I went to church, I prayed, I never stole, I did good by my parents, I did good by my spouse if I had one, I did good by my children, I gave back to the homeless, all this good stuff, but you're going to turn me away and, make me go to visit little Satan because I'm gay. That just don't make sense to me, and how people are so quick to throw that religion card, you going to hell. And I'm going to hell, but you just had sex with somebody's wife.
But just like you were saying prior to us starting the show, you were talking about there's rapists and things like that.
Right.
And just like some of those murderers, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Jeffrey Dahmer, he got right with Jesus. And, they say that, once you get right with Jesus and make him, that's your plan, that's what you do, you get to go through the pearly gate.
Me and my mom literally just talked about that. Mm-hmm. Once you feel like you're finally perfect for God, or once everything starts going right, that, whatever he says is supposed to go in the Bible, that's when you kick the bucket. And like I said, it's going to be a relationship with you and him, a conversation with you and him and nobody else. You know what you did in your lifetime. You know what you did wrong. You know what you did right. And like my mom said, God plans your life for you as soon as you become born.
Right.
Everything is written.
Already set up.
So all these struggles, all the heartache, all the pain, all the blessings. So some people may call all material things blessings, but whatever. Whatever blessing, whatever miracle, whatever happened in your life, it's already written and it's already planned. And I hate that because I am so curious as to see how everything's going on.
You want to shoot Jesus a text talking about, look, nigga,
what's happening
so what's going to happen on Monday? just Monday. I'm not being greedy. You don't need to tell me what's going to happen
no,
for the
I'm
year.
the greedy one. I'm be like, okay, what's going to happen this time next year? Like, but
right.
it's so funny that we say that.
Everybody does it. There's not a single soul that's sitting around just saying, I don't care what, I'm just going to live life day by day. If you can get a little sneak into what your life is going to be.
Because I was going to say, there's a lot of people who say that, like, I'm just a free spirit. I just live life. I just do. There's one little inkling that wants to know, who's going to be my baby's father? Like, who's going to be my husband? When am I going to get this dog? Like, it's little inklings about even probably little stupid stuff that you want to know. So you can't say just completely, you just going to let loose and let life go as is. But yeah, it's a personal relationship and nobody can take that away from you. And so, I don't know.
Religion and LGBT is always a very tricky, controversial topic because you'll have the Bible beaters on one side that's just throwing out Hail Marys and want to cast you to hell, and then you have the gay people that are individuals that pretty much are saying the same thing. They got the same beliefs and everything, but the only thing is that they're attracted to the same sex.
Right.
So, I mean, that is just piggybacking off of what you said, it's like if I live my life, but I guess that's not, I was about to say, if I live my life according to God's plan, then why can't I, join him? But then again, what's that, Catch-22? Catch-22 is like, but you're not really living God's plan according to the Bible.
But there's like 10 things, and if you're doing 8 out of 10, you're not gonna get turned away. That's just how I feel.
But like I said, once again, here's a it's not a division. It's like you have your views and opinions on how Judgment Day is going to be, and I have mine. I mean, like I said, like we both said, sin is a sin.
A sin.
Like just because you're gay and I'm straight doesn't mean that, you going to hell first.
I highlighted in the Bible what God despises. There are several things, okay? And out of those 7, everybody in this world, how many people in this world? Everybody has done something. If you've stolen, if you have lied, if you have gossiped, if you have, slept with a married person, it's all types of wished bad on somebody. A sin is a sin, and there are a lot of sins, and nobody is perfect.
Right.
So, I don't know. I just don't understand the isolation and the separation and the condemnation all the time on religion.
We may have to do a part 2 to this type, and then we need to get some ministers. It would be cool if we can get a pastor or minister from a gay church and then a pastor from Church of Christ. I think my minister would be down for that, but he could be kind of shady sometimes. Sorry if I play. But he may throw a little shade, and he may be a little shady. But I think it would be a good, contrast. And plus you get the information from, contrast and perspective of both churches. So.
It's just crazy. Like in other countries, like in America, I'm not saying that I am praising these people. But also in America, to be in the LGBT community, we are very blessed. I'd rather deal with the name calling, or you don't want to talk to me, or you want to disown me over killing. Because in some countries, Jamaica, India, things like that, they kill you for even finding you holding a hand and it's not your mom, or anything sexual, a kiss.
We have more of an open religion.
Yeah. Like, other countries do not play that at all. You cannot even fix your mouth to say that, because they do some gruesome things to people of the same sex relationships or anything like that. As far as the LGBTQ and the millennial whole thing, and religion, I find that a lot of my peers are either becoming non-believers or, like I said, finding their spiritual journey and have a lot of questions on Christianity, because of this, because they come out to their families and friends or something, and you have that one friend that's talking to you about how it's not right and how it's just a phase and you should just go be with a man or go be with a woman. And then you have family members that's saying, well, that's not in the Bible. And so you question yourself, like, okay, well, why was I praying to this person or talking to this person or asking forgiveness from this person when they don't even love me? And those Christian people, Bible beaters, or whatever you want to call them, they make it so hard for you to continue to have a safe place as far as religion. For me personally, like I said, I grew up going to church all the time. My grandmother had us in church, and then once we became the age where she didn't have to wake us up no more to force us to go to church, my mom was also like, y'all make it y'all business to go. I think I was like 11 when I finally started understanding what he was talking about in the church. And then after that, if I'm running around with my friends on a Saturday or staying up late watching Mad TV or something on a Saturday, I was not trying to get up on Sunday 8 o'clock early in the morning to go eat breakfast and go to service. So I stopped going for a long time. And then I didn't really understand why my grandmother always was preaching this and why my mom always said that, this, that, and the third, until I got to college. And 18, 19 is when I started my own spiritual journey, going to church, trying to understand what they were talking about at church and in the Bible, and meeting other like-minded females and guys that understood religion other than me. And I feel like with the LGBT community, they don't have any real hope because of the families they come from or the people that they confide in are not the right people, because it's scaring them away from, I guess, living their life and wanting to be involved with God, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's why it's probably such a, I guess, a lack of, religion as far as that goes, because it's so frowned upon. It's not even frowned upon. It's like, you're going to hell straight up. It's not even let me sit down and discuss and talk. No, you say you're gay. Okay, whatever.
Right.
It's like,
and that's the thing. It's just like we talked about last week, people. When somebody wants to talk to you, you listen. And if somebody wants to learn or ask you questions, just try to talk. I mean, that's one thing I can say about my mom. Like, I had this conversation before I moved to Georgia with her, and I asked about just religion, period. As far as now, a lot of millennials actually kind of mix religions. I don't know if it's going to ruffle anybody's feathers, but you do. Like my mom, her and her brothers and sisters, they grew up with a Muslim dad, and then my grandmother was strictly into the church. Baptist church, Christian, whatever. And so she had no choice but to mix with the two. And then her aunt was Jehovah's Witness. So they had a whole bunch of religions and stuff going on. So as she got older on her spiritual journey, she started to see, okay, I'm going to take from this, I'm going to take from that. I knew nothing but Christianity. My dad and my mom tried to tell me stuff about Muslim, but to me, being very young and trying to learn about Islam and stuff, it just seemed very strict, very can't do nothing basically. And I was just like, nah, I'm not down with that. Like, I can't do anything. I can't look a certain way. And if anybody knows of Newark, New Jersey, it's a whole bunch of Muslims, and some people call them fake Muslims, because they'll do certain things that's just not in the Islam practice. Right. But
that's any religion.
In college, I actually took a sociology class, and I learned about Buddhism. When I met my first roommate, she was so Buddhist. And then it was Christian people in the house, and it was her being a Buddhist. And we took her to church and started to see, she started to see how we viewed things. And we would have discussions in the house about how we viewed things. And I'm pretty sure they were very intense and deep conversations, because we really believed in what we believed in, and she did. But just imagine a whole bunch of 20-year-olds talking about this religion. You don't really get that nowadays. Whether it's intense or just a quick conversation, you don't get it, because nobody wants to talk about being gay, and nobody wants to talk about religion, because it gets intense. And as far as the, what was I going to say? So yeah, about the mixing religions, I started to look at Buddhism in a certain type of way. I still have a lot of brushing up to do, but like I said, I believe in God. I still pray to God, even through the hard things that I go through, praying to Him and thanking Him. And I also start to pick up and read on some ways of Buddhism, as far as believing afterlife and believing certain ways to handle stress or certain ways to just go about life. And so I'm still, like I said, if this makes sense, revamping and still learning and reading up on spirituality as a millennial. And I'm a proud lesbian, and I don't feel like nobody can take that away from me as far as me and my religion.
Now, with you saying that you mixed your religion, how do you feel about that? If you're going to, it's once again God's plan. God's plan is not, okay, you could be Christian and Buddhist. And how do you feel about that mix? As far as when Judgment Day comes, do you feel like, okay, I don't think, I mean, do you feel like I may not make it through the pearly gates because I'm praising you and you.
No, because like I said, I'm still actually reading and researching, and I'm not just following a trend. Like, people want to say, oh, millennials are hipsters, and they just put them in a category. I'm actually reading before I sit there and say, I am Buddhist, or there's a book called Christian Living Buddhist Practices or something like that. I'm going to get the actual name and I'm going to post it later. And it's certain practices. And like I said, after reading this in a class and reading it in a book, everything about Buddhism isn't so bad. Everything in Christianity isn't so bad. When you start to think about certain things in Buddhism, it's really kind of the way God would want you to do. Be a kind person. Be somebody that's not insecure. Be somebody that's stress-free. Be somebody that loves one another. That's basically, a lot of the stuff that they're saying in Buddhism is basically the stuff that God is saying. It's all around wants you to be a great person. All around wants you to be a well-rounded person and somebody that's not. God doesn't want you to be depressed. That God doesn't want you to be stressed out. God doesn't want you to be insecure. God doesn't want you to be mad and hate your neighbor and your parents or whatever all the time. And that's what the Buddhism says. But like I said, I'm still researching on it, so it's not something that I'm really like proclaiming. But that's the only other religion that I feel like right now researching that I could relate to. So I'm not worried about that right now, because I still feel like overall I am a good person and I do what God is telling me that I'm supposed to do. Any more questions?
All right, Sister Soldier.
Oh,
I just asked a question, you know. Shit. Oh. But I mean, I can say, as far as my personal involvement in the church and religion, of course, we had to go to church as kids. It's just being black. We had to go to church Wednesday, Sunday.
See, I wasn't that
vacation
extreme.
Bible school. Oh, girl, we was in vacation Bible school every.
See, my mom had to go that, but we didn't have to. My grandmother just made sure we go to church on Sundays then holidays.
No, ma'am. We was Wednesday, we was Sunday, we was vacation Bible school, and for some reason, I want to say it may have been a Thursday, but. As far as my religion goes, because I am no Bible beater. I do not sit there, and I'm going to be, keep it so 100. I don't sit there and read the Bible. I do know some things of the Bible, and I know what, God speaks of as far as sins go, and, but I'm, like I said, I'm not the type of person to pass judgment on anybody, because I'm like, my sin is no better than your sin. So it's not going to be, on Judgment Day that God's going to look at me and you and be like, all right, well, Mecca, you're a lesbian, so you're going straight to hell. And Ryan, you can come on in. I know that you were having sex before marriage because there's your sons in the background. You're okay, So it's just that, like I said earlier, the LGBT community and religion's always been a very, controversial, very hush hush. You don't want to really talk about it because it will start good fights.
Yes, it would. It's just certain things. Like I have a cousin
people
that will
can't
argue with you.
They can't have a conversation, and that's another reason why probably a lot of gay people do not involve themselves in church. And it's a good thing that they now have like the separation in church. Is bad, but they now have the separation in church where you can go to a church that's strictly gay people, so you will find that you have that safe haven, so you don't have to worry about, okay, I'm gonna get yelled at, or Jesus gonna strike me down walking into this building, or people gonna be outside the building and
I
giving
used to
you
think
looks
like
and
that
talking about
when we used to go to
Sister Mecca coming in her lesbian ass.
But but I feel like at that point you do have to build tough skin because, like I said, that's your relationship with you and God. So you're not doing anything wrong.
Well, it's just like being black.
Exactly. You're not doing anything wrong, but walking into the church.
Strike. You a lesbian and black.
I know.
They get your ass
hit. Because when my roommate, the one that I said that was Buddhist, when she started coming to church with us, she's not super feminine. She didn't know no better either. Little short white girl from Michigan. So she showed up to church in some basketball shorts and a tie-dye shirt. Oh. But our church was, like I said, non-denominational. Once she started going more, she started knowing how to dress. Nobody judged her.
But I mean, she at least could have put some jeans on.
We told her that because the girl that we went with, you don't know Ashley. But,
she could have put some jeans on.
Yeah, we used to all go to church, and we all used to maybe like feel some type of way, like everybody's looking at us. But at the end of the day, they didn't care because we were into the choir. I know me and one of the other girls, we did like holiday choir and Bible studies and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, you're not doing anything wrong.
You just, according to Christians, and
if anything, you should be happy that I'm trying to get right with the Lord.
Yeah, but if you was getting, they're gonna tell you, you gonna be the lesbian, and I'm gonna be the Christian. You saying, oh, I just want to get right with the Lord. No, if you was getting right with the Lord, you wouldn't be gay. But we can get it out of you, sister. Let me lay hands on you.
But see, that's the thing. Maybe I'm gonna get flack for saying this too. I haven't gone to a all-black church since I was little.
Well, that's not even had nothing to do with being.
But lesbian. For the most part, but that's
sometimes I'm not even gonna lie. I mean, love my black people, but that's. Black churches, they will condemn you more so than a white church.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's only black people and only white people that, because I know white people judge too, but right. the church that I went to that I fell in love, I mean, regardless, I still left, but I always say the one thing that would have kept me in LA also is that church. I loved my church. It was a mix. There was Asian people in the choir. There was Spanish people in the church. There was black people. And it was like nice middle class families and everything. And they just didn't care. They didn't see that. We was all here to worship. And I'm not saying that, those people wasn't judging anyway. They probably was later on, going home or whatever. But in the black church, they will make you feel it. And I haven't been in a black church since I was living in New Jersey. Last time I went to church as a kid, probably 13 years old. So I haven't had to deal with that. One of my grandmother's closest friends is a proud gay man, and he stand up there and he clapping and tooting his lips. And he's been the only one that, after he wasn't going to stop going to church. So he was there, and they had to learn to love him and accept him. And you know what? I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to kick it with you because, at the end of the day, you didn't back down from us. And that's what I feel like some black churches also, they're waiting for you to back down. They're trying to run you out of somewhere. But
which is almost funny, like when situations like that happen within the church, be it black or white, it's like, but then again, you saying that you are living this, you're being this Christian. Christians don't do. They're not supposed to do things like that. So it's religion is just a funny thing because everybody takes that Bible and has interpreted their own way. They'll read a scripture that is blatantly saying, thou should not kill. But somebody will read and say, well, thou should not kill on Monday, but if you do it on Tuesday, you okay. Or if you don't kill them totally,
just torture them.
Just torture them a little bit, you okay. So that's the thing with religion. That's why we have so many different branches of religion, because everybody has taken the Bible and they have interpreted it and tweaked it their own way to formulate their own way, which is the funniest thing in the world, because if at the end of, the world is like, what you can't walk up to God and say, look, this is what my Bible say.
He said, no, what did I say?
No, but see, you didn't catch this version. Let me open it up. Let's sit down and talk. It's like you're not going to be able to present your version of the Bible to him and tell him, well, this is how I took it. He'll be like, that's lovely. I'm glad that you took it that way, but what is in black and white is how it's supposed to be.
Right. And like I always say, being gay or whatever, trans, whatever, it's more than sex. And I feel like people, as Ryan like to call them, the Bible beaters, they'll like to isolate you and be like, well, you going to hell because because the first thing they thinking in their head is the sex part. There's more to, for some people, even for straight people, there's more to being with the opposite sex than just sex. Like, there's conversation, there's actual love and affection.
It's just two normal people.
It's normal people. Like, a relationship is a relationship, and that's why they say when it comes to LGBT, love is love. It's feelings involved. It's affection involved. There's still conversation. There's still dates. Everything is not about sex and a big old hoopla parade. And I feel like as soon as you say gay, the first thing that pop up in people's mind is like gay sex, glitter, rainbows, unicorns, parades, and just a whole extravaganza. When in all actuality, we are just normal people, just like y'all. We sit on the couch and Netflix it up, just like y'all. For example, go to church, just like y'all. Like, our life is not that much more extravagant than the average Joe. So I don't understand, like I said, once again, the separation and the isolation of being gay and believing in something and wanting to express that, just like a normal person would.
I was just taking a moment and just looking up definition of hetero and homosexuality, and it's just funny. It's basically the same. It's just the only thing different is both of them are saying the sexual attracted to either same sex or a person of the opposite sex. So it's like, okay, so can gay people start condemning straight people? You straight people, all you do is just pounce on each other. You straight people.
All you do is get pregnant out of wedlock, you straight people.
You straight people, the shade.
I'm just saying. Like,
I think I would definitely be that gay person to say that. If somebody was like, oh, you gay, all you do is have sex. I'm like, oh, all you straight, all you do is pounce on each other and having these goddamn bastard ass babies. And and they would just look at you and probably get quiet.
Exactly.
You're like, okay. Miracles and blessings. Miracles and blessings.
Right. Like,
but that's just me. I'm not gonna let anybody say anything, make me feel any other way than, loving me.
Right. So. And if you can't get with it, get lost. Okay.
So, it is what it is.
Yes, guys. But that's pretty much it tonight. Thank you for tuning in. I think it was a very appropriate topic. I don't have to be super, super duper serious about. But it is something that we should talk about. Once again, we should talk about in our communities. We should talk about with our children, our families. It is another hush-hush, especially amongst
Actually, it's really not a hush-hush. People talk about gay,
but they only talk about it from one side.
They do talk about it from one side, but that's the only way they're going to get it. The only way that it'll be discussed both ways. If there's an actual gay or lesbian person within that family that can, give that perspective, it's always going to be like that. They're going to be like, well, I'm going to pull out the Bible. Hell, the most person that don't even go to church, if they don't know nothing, they know that being gay is a sin. Now, all the other shit that they do, they don't know nothing about. Talk about, we ain't supposed to have sex before marriage. We ain't supposed to test it before we get married.
We ain't supposed to be getting drunk.
We ain't supposed to be shacking up. But I do know them gays. That's the sin now. Them gays. You ain't supposed to be humping other women. Women ain't supposed to be humping other women. Other men ain't supposed to be poking other men. I do know that. But it's just funny. We can laugh and joke about it, but, the severity of it is just that it's a lot of people, honestly, are losing their lives because of just being gay. So, I mean, we're laughing and joking about the topic and whatnot, but, we also know the severity of these type of topics being discussed in the family. And, I mean, it would be good to give a perspective or just a chat from both sides. I mean, I know it would be hard.
Deep. Yeah, it gets deep, and people get very intense and defensive. But, I mean, because you believe in what you believe in. And that's just that. I just feel like just because one person believes in another doesn't mean that you have to stop supporting or stop being there or stop treating that person a certain way because of their life decision.
I mean, the thing about it, this is how I look at it. It's like, I have my best friend is gay. And, I mean, we go, like, if he wants me to go to drag shows, want me to go to gay clubs, I'll go. But, I mean, if there's some things that he want to take me to that's just going to make me feel flat out uncomfortable, I would tell him, boo, love you, you my bestie, but no, that's how you can do that. But then there's some people, I feel like the people who just don't want to interact with gay people, that is your preference too. But
like R&B divas, when Mo and Therese got married, her daughter was, that's like a big moment, especially if your mom was never married. She didn't get to see her parents even really interact because her dad died when she was younger. She, because of her religious belief, she did not attend that wedding. She was not going to. She said she did not support. It took her up until now when she became a mother of two, where she like, I support your wife, I support y'all's relationship. She was like dead on, I'm not doing it. Not gonna happen. This is not right. This is what the Bible said. This is what God wants. And
but I mean, but honestly, on the flip side, you can't condemn somebody who is strong in their religion because they don't believe what you believe. Like,
no, she didn't. Right. Monifa, she didn't condemn. She was like, I'm so proud of you and the woman that you became and what you believe. But I'm just asking, can you at least say congratulations? Like, she didn't even say.
But the thing about it is, why? I mean, if that person does not support your lifestyle, don't sit there and beg them for congratulations, stuff like that. Just accept the fact that that's how they believe, and just let it go. You're not going to get it. You keep egging it on, it'll bring in more division. It's like, you don't need to have that congratulation or that acceptance. It's just not going to happen. Just be happy with who you are and your lifestyle and how you're living. And that's it. Where I feel like if you keep like, can you congratulate me? You'd be like, bitch, I don't support what you do. I'm glad that you found somebody that you love, okay, but I don't have to sit there and go to, your weddings and stuff like that. I think that that's how it should be. I'm like I said with my best friend, I'm like, he's gay. I love him to pieces. I will go to some things and other things. If I just don't feel comfortable with going, he probably wouldn't ask me in the first place because he will already know. But you don't have to do everything. But, I mean, we're coming closer and closer to the end. But if you guys have any things to discuss as far as the topic goes, you can always DM us on our Instagram page, the Coffee Comment, and also just leave comments and let us know or give us your feedback on the show.
What you think, how you feel, if you want to talk to us.
She been trying to rap all day. Father, help her.
Thank you guys for listening to us tonight. Once again, follow the Instagram Coffee Comment, personal Facebook pages, Spreaker.com, and YouTube. You can Google podcast, Coffee Comment, Ryan, Mecca, all that good stuff. And we will see you guys, or talk to you guys, next Sunday.
Yep, a new topic will be up Wednesday, Thursday.
Yes. Bye, guys.
Bye.